All right, here we go. This is Brooke back with Breaking Down the Page. Today we're going to be looking at some comic books. I was in Kansas City for a wedding and went to Back in Time Comics and Toys down there in Kansas City. Was able to talk to the owner. He started the comic book store and toys whenever he went into retirement. Just kind of, it's not a store that you'd go to pick up new comics. They actually just had back issues, and the back issues were 50% off. Had a great conversation with him. I got some pics of some like tons of Transformer toys. So many toys that I kind of had as a kid. It was really great and wanted to support the store. So decided I'm going to pick up some Uncanny X-Men issues that I didn't have, that I've not read before, and here I am to share them with you. The earliest issue I think I have is 67, might be 66. I'd have to double check. It's the first appearance of Havoc, who's my favorite X-Man. Next to that, I think this would be the next issue I have in line, which is 115, and then I picked up 116. Be transparent, it said $90 for this issue, 80 for the other, and it was 50% off. So I was just like, why not go for it? Let's just have some fun. I haven't read some comics well. I also picked up number 168, which I've always loved this cover with Kitty Pryde. So I'm not sure what happens there. That takes place after the Brood saga, which is one of my favorite X-Men storylines. So right now I double checked. This isn't the first appearance of Sauron. Apparently he was back in like number 59 or something. The most that I know about Sauron, and so I'm just gonna set up expectations of what I expect to kind of get out of this comic. The most that I really got out of Sauron probably comes from the X-Men cartoon series in the 90s. The second season involved Professor X Magneto being lost in the Savage Land. I want to say Sauron played into that storyline along with whatever this dude's name is. I don't even remember. The Sun God dude. As far as X-Men era, this is relatively early Claremont. Let's check the date. We got 79 or 78. I can't see it on the camera, but it's down here. So, just gonna read this. We got Chris Claremont, John Byrne. Most John Byrne I probably would have read. Let me see if I can get this light over here. That would help. Maybe a little bit off to the side. Is the next stuff I have here is the Dark Phoenix saga, starting with I think with Uncanny 124. I know there's some issues with Alpha Flight in the middle. I'm not sure if it's the first appearance of Alpha Flight, but John Byrne is kind of the staple, one of those main people that I definitely like the artwork for him. It's not my preferred, but it definitely is great when it comes to storytelling. Mark Silvestri comes in the 200s. Early John Romita Jr. Really kind of mixed reviews on some of his artwork in the transition of the like 180s, I think, through like 212 or something like that. I do enjoy his work on the more recent Superman stuff, the and kind of the X-Men 300 around that era. I grew to appreciate it. Used to not like it when I first started reading, so I was into Joe Majura. So we're just gonna read this. Let's check this out. Also, I've not read a ton of this era, and this is the era that the Pride of the X-Men animated show came out in. So we got Colossus here, very classic costume. We got Cyclops in the all blue with just the yellow boots, yellow visor. Classic Wolverine, very early into X-Men. Nightcrawler, and then we got Storm. So we got a nice Spider-Man toy ad here. I don't think I had any of these toys when I was a kid. So, Visions of Death. We got Sauron here. As I claim this she-mutant's life, X-Men, so shall I claim yours. We got this holding Storm over here. And then Sauron shall rule this savage land. We got Sauron talking in third person. We got Wolverine going in. Cyclops saying, Wolverine, no. Ooh, this is a this is a significant. This image of Wolverine, I want to say, is used in different cards. I had a X-Men playing deck back in the day. This was, I can't remember if Wolverine was like Jack or whatever, but definitely have seen this. Probably would see it on different T-shirts. We got, is it Kazar? I'm totally blanking on this dude's name. He's from the Savage Land. He lives there. Might have been a scientist before he got there or something. And I'm so used to reading Japanese comics that I'm like, which bubble do I read? This bubble first, or do I read this bubble first? I'm guessing this one. The only place you're gonna rule is in hell. Got Cyclops. You crazy. You're doing exactly what Sauron wants you to. Stop. You notice Sauron over here has a gun in a holster. He's supposed to be like an energy vampire. Continued after the next page, it says down on the bottom. And we got an ad for the Micronauts. I will mention I did go wash my hands before I started reading this. This paper is 40 years old now, 40 plus. Yellowing. I'm not sure if the issue was worth the $90 or whatever, or the 45 that I paid. I didn't. It looked like fun comics to read, and I've been sitting down waiting to read this, trying to figure out how do I want. I've not read comics on, making videos of reading comics. So I'm like, what's the best way to kind of present it here? So we got Wolverine here. You stop, Gutless. This bargain basement Rodan just chopped an X-Man, and Wolverine's gonna make him pay for. Hey, you should have listened to your leader while you had the chance, little man. You stop, Gutless. This is definitely kind of pre-swearing era. I'm not bargain basement Rodan. I don't even know what that means. I do want to say there was a period when I was in high school. I started reading X Men, and that from the 1980s, and they kept saying botched, and I started using that all the time. And now that's actually kind of a regular word back in that people use, and it wasn't something that I heard a whole lot. At some point, they kind of made it back into like into the regular parlance in the like 2010s. I don't remember hearing it a whole ton. I'm not necessarily saying I brought it back, but I'll take credit. Got Sora in here. No, it's too late. Gotta bust free, but this grips like an ice cold vice. Cripes his eyes. Your mind, your very soul, mutant, is mine. Quickly, X-Man, look at your friends and see who is truly the enemy here. Oh no. Soren zapped Wolverine just like he did Angel the first time we fought, which is a reference way back in X-Men 60 and 61. Unless I'm mistaken, Wolverine doesn't see X-Men anymore. Just a trio of walking nightmares. So we got thought bubbles here. I've definitely got more used to reading manga, especially recent manga, even though it's like I've reread Berserk, which goes back to the 80s. You don't get a whole lot of thought bubbles, especially in One Piece. It's like very rare, maybe one an issue. So much more is simply conveyed through facial expressions rather than what people are necessarily saying. However, if you were to go watch original episodes of Naruto, there's definitely some internal monologues that you get from Sasuke, especially Sakura, like little kind of asides, comedic asides about how much she loves Sasuke and oh my gosh, Naruto's eating it. But the facial expressions and even just the way Wolverine's body is turned, I just really enjoy the artwork. Doesn't come across as like action figures or simply people posing. Very dynamic. Definitely reminds me of, and this isn't like a reading this because I haven't read as much John Byrne, so it's like for me, it's like this reminds me of some Kubert comics, whether it's Joe Kubert, which I haven't read as much, Andy Kubert, more so, and maybe Adam, who are some of just my favorite artists. I've met both of them. It's like I don't know if Adam would still remember, but we had drinks a few times in an interview with him in high school. Met up at a few conventions. He introduced me to all the editors at Marvel at the time. Cyclops, Nightcrawler, look at his face. What's happened to him? Blast. Why couldn't Wolverine have listened for once? Oh, Cyclops. With his power and natural ferocity, he could cut us all to pieces long before Sauron's hypnotic control wears off. But of course that won't happen, right? Unless I stop him first. And zrap. This is layout, and I'm not like this is my personal preference for layouts, but definitely having this panel here, and it's like I'm not. I listen to your boy Zach YouTube channel, your boy Zach in comics. So he's way more into some of the technical stuff for the layouts, but I'm definitely enjoying this page. The Wolverine jumping, and then just this panel across the middle. Like it's I haven't read American comics in a while, and this is just so 80s. I know it's 78. I haven't read as many comics from the 70s. Are you mad, man? How did you have to trust me, Banshee? Wait, that's Banshee? I guess it is Banshee. It looked like Kazar, whatever his name is, because he's not wearing any clothes. All right. I guess Banshee's on the next cover. And also just like, and so much for live reaction with the microphone turning off or whatever. Oh my gosh. Oh, the technical problems. So annoying. I'm running out of USB holders. Let's get the camera back. That's what I actually unplugged on accident. Okay. Sorry about that. So annoying. Trust me, Banshee, I had to look. I've no time to explain. This is the panel down here. Just get airborne after Sauron and don't let him make eye contact with you. Interesting. Sounds like he's never heard of Banshee. This. Oh, man. I feel like I'm just going to be overly critical. This comics are meant to be fun, even if it's kind of there's definitely this sense of and this and I want to say like Claremont, he's relatively new to the book, maybe like a year or two in. I think he might have started in the 90s. So this might be I'd have to want to say like 94, 95. So this is the second year. I want to say he might have been working on Iron Fist up to this point a little bit. I'm not sure if that's I'd have to double check on that. But I want to say he had been kind of like an intern, or not an intern, but like worked the mailroom or something like that, and they weren't quite sure what to do with X Men, and he was just like, me, choose me. All right, we got Soren here. A flying savage. All I need are a few seconds to get up, son. To get up, son of him, and then I'll give this flying whore an education he'll never forget. The internal model, and that's one of the things with Claremont that definitely dates him. Um, like I could go without some of the internal monologue, like just let the story flow a little bit more. We got this panel of silent Sauron. You're wasting your time, fool. My strength alone is more than enough to smash your screeching form to a bloody pulp. Is it now? He thinks. Why didn't he just say it while yelling? As he's like, ee. And we do get these extra little this extra dinosaur, and it's like babies here. You get Wolverine. This is great. Wolverine is just face down in the water. Stay here, Nightcrawler. Make sure Wolverine and Storm are okay. And it's like, oh man, Nightcrawler, you're only one of the most powerful X-Men if you teleport around. But please, Cyclops, run after the dude. As you wish, Cyclops. Rise and shine, mean friend. You don't have, we can't have you drowning on us. Wolverine backhands him. Lousy demons, you ain't taking me. Ad continued after the next page. Ooh, wow, we got double page of ads here. Marvel Comics Group checklist. An Atlas body in 7 days, people. Fabulous wildlife stamp collection. Who were these people that coconut stamps? Be a draftsman. Included with course. 3 big drafting kits. Oh, gosh. Telescope in 1. Adjustable telescope. Oh. Woke up just in time. Slime monster trying to scrag Genie. This is actually kind of a cool image. But it's like, they just say everything out loud. That or they think it, and then they just like, He attacks with all the speed of his namesake, never realizing that he's responding to an illusion, that his target is actually Cyclops waging a desperate battle against Sauron. Get out of here, Genie. What? That sound? Of course Wolverine's not going to stab him. Like, if Wolverine just stabbed one person once, like, there'd be so much more drama added to the situation, but nope. Can't. Kids comic or whatever. It's like, how did Wolverine get cool? He pivots only slightly, but it's enough to save his life. Wolverine! I'll handle Slime Puss. Oh, why? And I don't want to be like too rough on Claremont, but just this. Oh, this is a really great. These are some really great panels, though. This artwork, like, we could just cut 80% of the boxes of the dialogue. No, something's wrong. I'm talking like Jeannie's alive, but she ain't. And Cyclops is down here. He's hesitating. He's Scherzak? I hate to do this, pal, but as the saying goes, it's for your own good. Marvelous, Cyclops, you're doing my work for me. And once I finished you, the rest of your pathetic team will be easy prey. Banshee, high-low now! I, Cyclops, now I understand why you wanted me in the air. My sonic scream stuns the scaly beggar from above. Like, they're just saying everything that happens. Oh my gosh. And then your optic blast deck him from below. A nasty 1-2 combination, lad, but no more than Sauron deserves. You know, like, let's just go through, edit out the dialogue, let the art talk, say things that are important. Curse them, the energy shock to my system was almost more than I could stand. Also, earlier, Sauron was talking in third person. Like, come on, bro. It strained most of the life force I absorbed from the black woman. I'm starting to change back to Kara Lycos. And here we got what, Colossus and the buff right here. Stupid camera. Down here. Lycos, the sniveling weakling. I'll die before I revert to him again. There's that woman. Wait. The man holding her. I sense great power in him, as great as hers. Storm, what's happened to you? Be proud, mutant. Your power will make Sauron invincible. We're going to have to count the ads after this, because here's another 2-page ad. And, you know, this is how comics made money. When CrossGen started in the 90s, they didn't have the ads, and it was great, but that might have been one of the issues of them not having as much income. They'd have their characters drinking like Coca-Cola. Oh, there we go. There's Kazar coming up. Yeah, I can see how he looks a little bit different than Banshee. How was I supposed to know? They're basically wearing the same thing, except he's got slightly oranger hair and it's not as long. Cyclops. The young Russian's body stiffens in silent agony as he feels his very life being torn from him. Colossus! Soren's feeding off him like a leech. Like, I can see it, I just gotta calm down. This, I love, I love me some X-Men, but also, this backdrop, which is a large pad for gaming, as you'll see, it's from Lance Red Illustration. Lance.red. Shout out to my friend. Somewhere in Peter Rasputin's brain, a psychic relay closes and an awesome physical transformation begins. Colossus, change! That's what Cyclops is saying to him. In his place is the armored form of Colossus, and as Cyclops had hoped, the sudden massive power surge is too much for Sauron to withstand. Let me get another. Let's compare. So that strip is slightly. It's at the same level as the previous page. It's just a little bit smaller. Other than that, these layouts are roughly the same size. There's a little bit more space at the bottom of this page rather than here as far as in like the gutter. And there's more gutter here. But the artwork got Wolverine here. Oof. Who's been playing pinball with my head? And he sees, what the? You, Sauron. I remember now you twisted my skull and inside out, made me try to ace the X-Men. Changing, thank God. I don't take kindly to people mucking with my mind, bub. Any last requests? Wolverine with the threats. And here we go. Stop! Please, my friend Carl Lycos, costumed one, or face the wrath of Kazar, Lord of the Savage Land. When is Kazar's first appearance? Okay, yeah, he's known them before. Oh, I bet he's seen Cyclops the first last time there, because Wolverine's only been here for like the 20 issues. This guy owes me, Blondie. But since he's your buddy, I'll be glad to take you and your pussycat too. Take on you. Hold it, Kazar. It's me, Cyclops. I do want to know there is. I guess I'll have to look at this from here on. But just as far as the actual point of view of the panels, like right here, we're getting the over the shoulder shot of Wolverine looking up at Kazar. Like just very good vantage point. Yeah, not the point of view. That's the vantage point. We're kind of in third person access to everyone's point of view as far as getting their internal thoughts. Whenever Claremont decides like I must let the audience know exactly what they're thinking right now because the audience is full of children. Chris, if you ever want to chat, I love your X-Men. I'm sorry, sorry if it feels overly harsh, but come on, man. Like, you're still kind of rookie years here. Plenty, it's still fun. You had the sales. That's what it was. You were top of the game at the time. Hold it, Kazar. It's me, Cyclops. I remember you, X-Man. In fact, it was you and your companions Lycos and I were on our way to sea. We need your help. Bub, you sure got a funny way of asking. Cool it, cat. I'll make you pay with your pal. Continued after next. Oh my gosh! Well, super dogs, it's the infamous Milk Duds Super Duds sweepstakes. This double page spread here. Like, how many pages? Typically, the comics are 20, 32 pages, like 10 pages of ads, but Oh wow, we got the X-Men mail. Dear Marvel, did you blow it? X-Men 111 page 2 claims that the Beast only saw the new X-Men in pictures. I say you're wrong. In X-Men 94 page 23, Hank saw the X-Men on their two-way view screen while talking to Professor X. Tell me if I'm wrong. You're wrong, Sim. What Hank saw on the view screen were images of the X-Men. Another word for image is picture. So we're perfectly within our rights to have Hank state that he only saw the new team in pictures. Better luck next time. But gosh, dear Chris and John, this is from Mrs. T.J. Morgan from San Byrne, Adino. She wrote Byrne, the Byrne, like John Byrne. There have got to be a few adjectives surpassing wonderful, electrifying, superlative, gorgeous, and monumental, but I can't think of them right off the hand. Whatever they are, they all describe X-Men 111 far better than the feeble attempt above. What you two have done is create a masterwork, and even that falls short of the truly expressing how I view the book. John, your art did for me what only Neil Adams' renderings at their best ever has, and maybe more. The final full pages shot of Magneto, Mesmero confronting the Beast, that was incredibly hypnotic, mesmerizing even. Wolverine breaking his chains, Neil who? The Beast contemplations on page 14, Jean Grey awakening from her trance to lash out at Phoenix. Would you believe the entire mag? Unless he think he's been forgotten, Dave, wherever you are, your cover made me. I'm guessing it's Dave Cochran did the cover. Dave, wherever you are, your cover made me very grateful that the proprietor of the newsstand I buy from is understanding, because it dazzled me so much I almost walked away without paying for the darned comic. As it is, he stared after me with troubled eyes. After all, I doubt that he sees too many young women walk away from his stand with their tongues dragging on the ground. Chris, I take back all the mean things I've said to you, or even thought about you. What? What did you say? More of the blame for comics wrongdoing probably falls on your head than on your artist, but I've griped at you enough to know. But this one, well, anybody who doesn't like your writing is going to answer to me. All 5'3" of me. Hey, it can be too easy for Wolverine to find a gal shorter than him. So how about to both of you, just keep doing it. Oh, this is an interesting section down here at the bottom. If it would come into view. Oh well, I'll just read it. You can see that. Dear Chris, John, and Terry. I'm not sure who the Terry is. Is that an editor? Inker? Ever read Kafka? The ordinary world, the world that we live in every day, and the love for its familiarity? It's disturbingly changed in his novels. The things we know become nightmarish, contorted, and surreal. And the chilling aspects of this is that no matter how nightmarish something becomes, we can still recognize it. In Kafka's Dark Mirror, we can perceive the original calm life we know. The terror lies in seeing how easily the distorted and evil reflection was formed from our original. I'm not sure what Kafka story they're talking about. If that's just the metamorphosis or the dude where now I can't remember. It's Sansa. Uh, like I have the book around here somewhere, a short story with it. Oh no, it's in my bag, which is not in here at the moment. Gregor Samsa, is that his name? Like, I guess there is nightmarish aspects of it being a very dreamlike story, but I'm just kind of like, what other? I don't know. I feel like Kafka more depicts reality, although he does do dreamlike stuff. But let's keep reading. I'm surprised you're talking about Kafka. The utilization of this aspect of Kafka is what, and I'm really curious if Chris Claremont read Kafka. He's at least up on his classical composers because we get like Tchaikovsky is one of the aliens or something that helps the X-Men after they talk to the dude. I remember my wife's background is in opera singing, so as I was reading X-Men, I started realizing like all of these names are music composers or like opera writers and stuff. The utilization of this aspect of Kafka is what makes X-Men 111 so shattering. I need to go find this issue now. Claremont's brilliant. I guess I need to pick that up. Go see if I can find that. Claremont's brilliant characterizations have ensured that we know the X-Men after these past 2 years, and we care about them. Claremont hasn't just shown us what the X-Men do; he has let us share it with them. Christmas shopping and parties at Danny Rand's. Oh, there we go, Iron Fist, as well as intergalactic adventures. So when this world, so familiar to us, is twisted by the machinations of Ms. Miro, we are not only chilled by the perversity of this act, we are disturbed because we can still perceive the original in the dark mirror. Ms. Destiny, Slim Summers, Jean, and Scott could have become these people in another life, and Scott, in fact, carried his nickname Slim in the earliest issues of the X-Men. Slim and Ms. Destiny possess a slight romance reminiscent of those early fumblings of Scott and Jean. Meanwhile, Aurora, Wolverine, Nightcrawler have been reduced to their bare essentials, their surface characteristics. If they had become true monsters, the effect would not have been so great. But here in X-Men, things are different. Or X-Men are themselves, yet they are different people entirely, and the difference is frightening. Ms. Miro's humbling of the X-Men was at its most striking when Wolverine menaced Ms. Destiny. Her reply, "I'll do whatever you want, only don't hurt me, please." This friend is scary. All the women of the X-Men are such striking individuals, particularly Jean. To see her so quickly abdicate her selfhood in the face of danger is really chilling. Speaking of chilling, as I seem to be doing, Magneto really has a way with those last page revelations, doesn't he? His appearance here was typically chilling and gives the issue as a whole a terrible sense of finality. John's artwork was at its most striking and evocative, reaffirming his position as one of the top illustrators at Marvel or anywhere. What a joy it's been to watch talents like John and George Perez and Barry Smith as well evolve from drawing Marvel's second string features into creating some of the most superb graphics in comics, and Terry Austin is perhaps his best embellisher. Austin, unlike many inkers, realizes there are no straight lines in nature. His lines describe their characters lyrically, gracefully, sweeping in and easing on with both power and delicacy. To put it simply, them fellers, Byrne and Austin, are an impressive pair. Both lyrical and highfalutin praise. Let me say about X-Men 111 what I really want to say. God Almighty, it was incredible. It was fantastic. I couldn't believe it with the scripting and the art, and I can't wait until it goes monthly. Like amazing. Look at this comic. This totally superb comic, I mean. Then it has a next issue. Next issue, 6 mutants, a jungle lord, and saber-toothed tiger standing against the awesome might of a living god. And the stakes are the survival of Savage Land itself. It's a battle royal with thrills, chills, you name it, we've got it. And not a few surprises. Be here next month, true believers, that the X-Men set out to save the Savage Land. But yet, what's this? Is this like an end story? Oh no, this looks like all the X-Men are inside. So it's like, why does it have this box at the bottom saying what's happening next, but we're not at the end of the issue? Whatever. Okay, Marvel. Like, whatever. Whoever this editor is. Guess I should have said who's this. We got Chris Claremont, John Byrne, the Rebel Asian Tours. What does that even mean? It's not even. There we go. Got Terry Austin, illuminating inker. Rick Parker, loony letterer. Francois Mowley, crafty colorist. Roger Stern, edifying editor. And Jim Shooter, earnest editor-in-chief. So, to all those people saying like women weren't in comics, pretty sure this is a girl doing coloring back in '78. There's a whole movement nowadays to be like, there's not as many women in comics, and yeah, maybe not as many, but you tend to forget things, as well as just the max diversity of the X-Men here. Where were we? All right, let's finish this up and get on to. I don't even know if I'll get to the next issue. It takes quite a while for some understandable hot tempers to cool. Even so, in the air, The air is thick with tension when everyone gathers in the village council house. Storm and Wolverine still looking daggers at Carl Lycos across the fire. Like, bro, just John Byrne. I get the sense. I get it. And somehow Storm found her clothes and Banshee. You said you need help, Kazar. We're waiting for your explanation. What is he handing him a chicken nugget? What's happening here? The story begins with me, Cyclops. On the night you and the other X-Men stopped me from murdering the father of the woman I loved, I was mad then, consumed by the evil side of me that is Sauron. To deny that evil I fled, halfway around the world to Tierra del Fuego. I hoped to die. But Tanya, my dear love, found me first. Rather than survive by taking her life, I tried to take my own. Back in X-Men 61. You saw me fall into that seemingly bottomless chasm. You didn't see me land semi-conscious on a small ledge a few meters below the top. This here reminds me of Barry Windsor Smith. I don't know, maybe it's just the chest hair. When I awoke, I made my way. Like, here we go. We're getting this told through these panels. Like, this works. Like, the dude's filling in the story. It's being orally told, and then we're given the larger context of the images. Like that's a great place to kind of have that in. It's not an internal monologue, but this first person narrative going with the images. When I awoke, I made my way slowly down the cliff face. I didn't know what to expect at the bottom, but I knew that anything would be better than the hell my life on the surface had become. Eventually, I reached the savage land. In a strange way, I felt like I had come home. Or the months that followed, my wounds, physically and mental, healed. I still needed life energy to survive, but I took it only from the lesser animals around me. I became one with the land, a man finally at peace with himself. Then, was it just a few weeks ago, I chanced upon a strange procession. Priests and acolytes, I thought, led by an exotically beautiful woman to a nightmarish temple. Near me, O Gorak, oh, that's the dude's name. Hear the words of Zaladane, your anointed priestess. Part of the ancient prophecy has been fulfilled. Once again, a man from the outside world has come into our land to be touched by the hand of God. Rejoice, O Lord of the Sun, for the time of apotheosis is at hand. Today begin God birth. Zaladin gestured and a massive slab rose out of the floor of the temple cave. A slab with a man chained to it. This is insane. Listen to me, please. There's been a terrible mistake. No mistake, Kirk Marston. You are the broken one. Be silent now as I daub your breast with blessed oil made from the ashes of him who was our God. I feel like I recognize that name, but I'm guessing. I don't know. What are you doing? Please, no. Yarg! Until it disappears with the light brighter than the sun. What madness! And when the glow faded, what madness is this? I died, consumed by the star-born fires that gave me birth. You now, yet now, the petrified man lives. Welcome, Holy One. I, Zaladane, your priestess, summoned you from the Shadow Kingdom. Death and worse now stalk in the savage land. Your people cry out for you. I sense both truth and falsehood in your words, woman. You speak of death and worse, then show me, or death and worse than death. Show me. More ads. Amazing new power builder. What is? What the heck? Oh, how many more pages? We're at 27 pages. I bet we're gonna get to 32. There, Holy One. This looks cool. The city. And this might be their first time in the Savage Land. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to look that up. Behold, a city where but days ago there was only swamp. Even the sky is tainted by its blasphemous presence. Yes. Part of me remembers war, conquest, and base betrayal of those who trusted the man I was. I didn't believe what I had seen or what I saw then, but those sights paled beside what was to come. Oh no! That city is the cause. Even from afar, I feel the untold suffering its alien people have brought to my domain. They shall bring no more. By my soul, let this madman's conflict end, and let these alien intruders be gone. Who are these people? Is what I don't know. Blinding beams of light flashed from the petrified man's eyes, and then I saw the other world city, its universe around it, simply disappear. I still don't believe it. Somehow he manipulated a trans-dimensional warp like a sculptor molding clay. In many ways, my friend Garrock, the petrified man, is indeed unto a god. The night he was reborn, I was. So now we're getting Kazar's added story here. This is cool. I was leading an attack on the city of Shinars from Kazar number 20. So he's got his own book. At the time, I thought I and my friends had been transported to the Shinar dimension, whereas in reality, part of their world had been transported to ours. Here's a question: who was writing Kazar at the time? Was it Claremont? Suddenly, in the midst of the battleground, the city around me, the flying shark beneath me faded away, as if they had never been. Having no wings myself, I fell. Karl Lycos and Tandy Snow found me, and together we nursed Tonga, the Outworlder Kloss, and Zabu, that's his tiger, back to health. They almost died at the hands of the Shinar vampire race. What? This sounds like fun. Lycos told me of Garrick's resurrection, and I knew that boded ill for the savage land, and I could do nothing until my friends had fully recovered. Alas, by then it was too late. Using slave labor, Garrick built a great metropolis in the Central Lake. How quickly did he do this? Overall, though, like I'm really enjoying the difference here. This story within a story shift that's happening. The storytelling of it is working way better than all the internal monologue of Cyclops, Banshee. It was good to get into Wolverine's actual point of view to see the slime monsters. I would have been down to get more of that. He means for all who dwell in the savage land and to live there. Those who refuse are slain. A regrettable but necessary step, says, to ensure the common good. His goal, peace, is admirable, and his means are an abomination. Tonga's fall people, and I have tried to stop him. We have failed. With your help, X-Men, perhaps we can succeed. Find my me, Blondie. Sounds like my kind of fracas. What is this language here? And it's like Wolverine, just retract the claws. You're not going to stab anyone. Like I should take bets on if he stabs anyone in the next issue. I will say the next issue cover over there. I really love that cover. My sentence exactly short stuff. Oh, and Banshee's smoking a pipe. That wouldn't be allowed anymore. More ads with Thor eating fruit pies, which I always thought looked good, but I never really liked him as a kid. Bullpen bulletins. Stan's soapbox. Well, I guess there isn't a comic book fan or television watcher who hasn't caught a few of the Spider-Man or Hulk primetime TV shows by now. In the past few months, I've received countless letters asking for my own opinion of these Marvel media cultural breakthroughs. And since you've bothered to ask, the least I can do to obfuscate the issue with my own cryptic comments and cogent critiques. Naturally, as you have guessed, I'd be happier if the shows hewed closer to the original comic book storylines, and yet I'm aware of the reasons which caused the networks and the producers to make so many changes. He's not wrong. Basically, they were afraid the shows would seem too comic booky if they were presented exactly the way you see the stories in our own uh, magniloquent mags. The changes in both Spidey and the Hulk were made in an effort to mold the shows closer to the format of most of the TV mystery and action dramas. My own personal feeling is that it would be better to take the opposite approach and make them as different as possible. You think? Wait, Stan is on top of it right now. I must say that both Universal Studios and producer of The Hulk and Dan Chuck Productions, who do Spider-Man, have constantly striven to make their series intelligent, adult, and true to the basic spirit of the magazines themselves. I'm sure you can tell that neither series is done in a camp manner, nor have our characters been burlesqued or treated in a cornball way. Both the acting and direction have been first rate, and production standards have been as high as any other primetime shows. Since I function as consultants to our TV series, the producers and I really do discuss the stories and kick all sorts of ideas around. And I'm happy to tell you that they're slowly but surely beginning to come around to our way of thinking. As more and more Marvel shows begin to hit the airwaves, you'll notice that they'll begin to get closer to the original flavor and feeling of the offbeat Marvel style. And now a word about another new Marvel TV project. Starting early in September, consult your TV listings for exact time. NBC will be presenting the Fantastic Four in cartoon form on its network Saturday mornings. I watched that show. I have the cassettes somewhere. Except I don't have the thing. It has like Herbie the robot. Ugh. Most of the basic stories will be bullpen produced, and the animation is being done by the award-winning DePatie Freeline Studios, who also bring you the Pink Panther and many other famous cartoon series. Give them a look. We think you'll like what you see. In future issues, I'll tell you more about our burgeoning television movie plans, but now it's time to get back to the real world, namely the pages of Mighty Marvel. Excelsior, Stan. All right, final 2 pages here. Wolverine with his claws out. What do you mean, no? I mean, much as we'd like to help Kazar, we can't. Whoop, did I miss something in the last? Oh, yeah, well, he said no over here in the corner. Cyclops him and his leadership. Bull. What'll it take, boss man? Blondie down on his knees begging? Figure it was for yourself, Wolverine. We survived the volcano. What if Magneto did? What if Magneto did too? His next target would be Professor X. I'm sorry, but our first duty is to the professor. So this sounds like some of this is roughly based. This is what they pulled out of the. They drew from this for the X-Men cartoon. However, with the X-Men cartoon, there was this whole understory of Mister Sinister was manipulating events from the background. So Mister Sinister was also in the Savage Land, but most of the season we'd get like 5 minutes of Professor X and Magneto were wandering the Savage Land, and they didn't have their powers. Professor X could walk. And right over here, it's like I'm having a hard time reading this. There's a question mark here that looks like a P, and I didn't. That's where I was like, it's a question. And compared to obviously I can read okay. I was able to read Stan's letter. It's a little bit. I'm gonna have to get used to reading the dialogue bubbles the way that they are because of just punctuations a little bit differently and where the line breaks are. I understand, my friend. Do not worry. The Savage Land is vast, and we know it well. Garak and Zaladain's warriors will not find us. As soon as things are sorted out on the surface, Kazar, we'll be back. You have my word. You got Wolverine over here. That's a laugh. Any way you cut this, we're bugging out again, and I'm getting sick of it. So this is interesting. I guess Cyclops walked through because we have Wolverine's in front of his left shoulder here, or Cyclops is right, and now we have Wolverine's behind him, and Colossus came out. I guess Colossus was over here somewhere, off panel. And yet we see them walking away. They completely swap positions. Wolverine's over here, and here's Cyclops. I know I'm getting nitpicky. They leave at dawn with Kazar and Zabu escorting the X-Men to the underground tunnel that leads out to the sea. Do Zvidania Neril? What does that even mean? Oh, Dos Vidania? Really? You're gonna break... Oh my gosh, look at this. Dos Vidania Neril. But it's like Do Zvidania... Yeah. Thank you, letterer. Farewell, my Peter. I will cherish you always. He's not met Shadowcat yet. Gotta get with. He's probably like a teenager maybe. But Shadowcat, when she gets introduced, I think is 14. By late afternoon, they're near the cavern entrance. Cyclops, the trees, everything looks withered as if by a sudden killer frost. I can see my breath. The air's turned cold. The questions. Let's move this a little. The questions pile one on another as they cross the final miles, and then they're at the great river itself. Holy, our way out is a solid sheet of ice? That's impossible. This is the tidal estuary fed by warm water current. Cyclops, all of you look to the sky. Wait, so Kazar is walking with them, I guess? Yeah. What? A snowfall. I sense that it'll be a heavy one. It's not the first either. The frozen river's covered with the stuff. Here, Wolverine, catch. He throws the snowball at Wolverine's face. Ugh, Elf, you just push the magic button. Choose your snowdrift, bub. Loser buys the beer. Stop playing, fools. Don't you realize what's happening? It's only a snowstorm, Kazar. They happen all the time. Not here, they don't. Derp. Somehow the sun god has upset the ecological balance of the land. A tropical hothouse effect that has kept the Antarctic cold at bay through the aeons. This is no mere snowstorm for the Savage Land. It is death. Next time, to save the Savage Land. And we got Spider-Man toys with your hero. Add Zap Sparkle to your room. Hang-ups, super hang-ups. And I got Satisfy Your Meat Tooth with Slim Jim. Look at this Slim Jim ad. Oh my gosh, did people really go buy Slim Jim after this? Let's read this over here. Remember how many times you felt left out because you were broke? Places the gang was going and you weren't included. They all had money for movies, games, hamburgers, and soft drinks except for you. Well, you'll never be left out again. Now you can make $2, $5, $10 or more week after week. Introduce Grit to friends, relatives, neighbors, and others. Grit will help you start your own business. You'll be sent papers to sell, supplies, and selling helps. You pay for nothing in advance so you don't risk a penny. You pay only for papers you sell until you know how many to order. You have everything to gain, nothing to lose. By starting your own Grit business, over 30,000 young persons all of America now sell Grit. You'll have steady profits and earn free prizes. What is this? America's greatest family newspaper. All right then. Well, we're just at the hour mark. I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. Next time, though, Uncanny X-Men 116. Death to those who violate the land and laws of the Sun God to save the Savage Land. There's so much being conveyed in this cover. It's like, which one do I like more? Wolverine here slashing at people. Like that's cool, but honestly, the look on Colossus's face, just the overall gestures that he has, and that of like Kazar, like just this section right here. I was like, I want to get that issue. All right. Have a great day.